Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Funky Hellboy and you're watching Skullgirls Online Battles, Episode 40, Team Order. Hey guys, what is going on? And in this episode we're going to be talking about Team Order. Now Team Order is actually something extremely important in fighting games that have multiple characters. Now, I actually recently switched up my team order, which was Philia first and then Squiggly. Because of the Squiggly story mode, I actually wanted Squiggly first, and I found out that I'm winning a lot more and playing a lot better with this team order. And it's because of that I'm just really wanted to talk about this dilemma I was having for a while about my team order and why I was losing a lot, because now I just feel like I'm winning a lot more. And no, it's not just because I'm going against the same people and I know their strategies. In this episode, I'm going against many different people, so it's not going to be the same people over and over again. Though I do fight the same people because they're fun. Now, I'm actually kind of getting snapback happy right now, but let's get back to the topic at hand. So, team order. It's extremely important to have a good team order. So, here's an example of a really, really bad team order. Let's put Parasol on point, and then let's put Peacock as second for a two-character team. Doesn't that just sound like a terrible team order? And yet I do see a lot of people, well not a lot, but I do see people doing something like that, where they would put Peacock with no assist, they would put her at the anchor. And I wouldn't know why, because she doesn't really have any good moves on her own, except for zoning tools, but she doesn't have any moves to keep people off of her. So I'm just talking about team order in general. So that's an example of something really bad. Now, I don't want to say mine's a really good team order, but I'll give an example of why I like Squiggly on point more than I like Philia on point. I like Squiggly on point more because it gives Squiggly that updo heavy punch assist. And what I've figured out is that is so much more useful than Silver Cord for Philia. And why it's so much more useful? Because I can use it at the beginning of a game to keep them off of me, keep them from advancing, and I can just charge up all of my Sarah stances, and I can just do all that, and if you see right there, I can use the updo to start up combos. And the amazing thing about the updo assist is, instead of what happens when I punish them from full screen with the opera, like only letting me do run rep of my B&B, it lets me do the whole B&B set, and that is what I love about having the updo assist. So that's just one reason why I really like this order. Now, another reason why I like this order is when I have Philia, when I had to switch out to Philia and Squiggly's still alive. Instead of Silver Cord, which just makes Squiggly pretty much a target, an easy target for people, I'm using Opera. And the Opera is extremely useful for Philia because she already has really good mobility, but if you get the camera to only focus on your opponent and you're in the air, you do a light hairball, and not hairball, but a light airball after a super jump. It'll let you be in the air like so high, but if you use an Opera, they won't be able to see you. You'll be off screen and it'll be focusing on there, and after the light airball, you'll have a dash, so you can just mix them up in the air any way you want. It's so good, and that's what I like about it, and it also just brings the people closer to you that you want to advance in on. And Squiggly's not that punishable when she comes out for the assist, which is so helpful, because when she uses Silver Cord, she's punishable. And even when you Sarah charge her assist, if you Sarah charge a Silver Cord, you're pretty much just handing Squiggly over on a silver platter if it blocks or whiffs. But if you Sarah charge her Opera, you pretty much free Squiggly from being punished. Like, if they do punish her, it's going to be an extremely hard, not that good of a way to punish her. So that's why I really, really like this team setup now. And that's just what I think is a good example of a good team setup. Something that just covers your character order. You gotta have to have a good character order, like the order that you send people out on. Like, if I had 3 characters, Peacock, Philia, and Squiggly, my character order is that after Peacock, if I'm having trouble with her, I'll send out Philia, so then I can just let Peacock heal. Now, if I sent out Squiggly, I would kind of have a little bit different of a situation, but I want to save Squiggly as last because I find that not that many people know how to really fight her, so she's a good last character. So I send out Philia first, just as a little bit of a fodder and a little bit of a way to just get damage in. Just damage that won't be... It will be in my favor. It won't be, I get a little bit of damage and then they just ruin me and then go directly into Peacock. It would also be a good idea if I did switch into Squiggly, then Peacock, if Squiggly dies, then it goes directly into Philia. And that's why Team Order is so important. Because if you want to save characters, Team Order matters. You know what I mean? It's an extremely important aspect of the game. So if you do find yourself in a rut and you do run a multiple character team, consider changing up your team order or at least your assists. Because your assists change the whole way how you play. It really does. Another thing about Team Order is the DHCs. I'm sorry for the long pause there. I was just thinking about the best way to go on this. Another better way to just set up your Team Order is your DHCs. Let's have a bad example of this. If I did Peacock on point, and I did Argus Agony, and they're being pushed back, and then I go into Diamond Dynamo, they're being pushed back so far that Diamond Dynamo is not going to hit them. Or at least when it does, it's pretty much halfway done by then. Unless if you're in the corner, and if you're in the corner, then that's a whole problem by yourself, because why are you stuck in the corner with Peacock? Why are you playing as Peacock as a rushdown character at that point? But just in general, it's extremely important to always know your DHC options. Because Argus Agony into Cerebella's level 3 that's an okay thing to do, because her level 3 will hit. So DHCs are extremely important because they can make or break your whole game. They can make or break your setup pretty much. Now, if you're not focusing on DHCs, I would focus on DHCs. Like, if you don't care about DHCs, you just care about the characters yourselves, I would focus on it because it is a great way to make sure your character is safe. And if you're wondering what the green bar thing is there in the middle of the screen before the game starts, it shows the connectivity between you and your opponent. And it's after you pick your frame. It's after you pick your frame drops. So it's really nice to have there. And yes, I had really nice, pretty much lagless games this whole time. So I was really happy about that. But back onto the point, DHCs are extremely important. They help your character get out of muddy situations, help out with a lot of situations that otherwise would be pretty much detrimental to your game. So if I was you, and if you're thinking about switching up your team, make sure, even if you have a good assist game, you have a good assist game with your characters, make sure you have a good DHC option. Because DHCs are extremely good. They're a little bit better than hard tags. Most of the times, they're better than hard tags. Because a bad situation is if I just did Squiggly's level 3 full screen instead of just hard tagging Squiggly and punishing him full screen. So definitely, if you're trying to switch up your team order, keep those things in mind. They're extremely important. And I'm just lucky when I switched my team up, all that fell into place for me. Okay guys, I'll see you later in the next episode. Bye.
Your flattery needs work.
That's a wrap. Squiggly.
Ready?
Tally-ho. Philia.
Let's go, Samson!
Oh, yeah. Are you ready?
For over a decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Downfall, pass.
Just you what?
Dragonfly. Hollow ground.
But I didn't.
Stand back. Downfall. Downfall. Now.
Get lost! Make yourself scarce!
Now. Watch the face! Not bad. Good luck. Watch your feet.
Here lies you.
Our heyday isn't over.
We're just getting started.
Player 1 wins!